Okay, so this is classroom 4, and the title of this class is actually New Beginnings. So Trisha, I guess let's start first of all, just recap. How's it gone so far for you in the quest? I know there's a lot of assignments that came at you guys.
I did quite a few of them actually with the time I have right now. Like today I just got home. But I did quite a few of them, and I did my whole, I like to do my vision boards on my computer because I can find information that's more critique for me. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I've done them on paper, but I like them better on the computer, and
Okay.
then I'll print them out and stuff, and I lost it.
No problem. No problem. So I tell people, it's not that I'm against the using the computer. It's just the whole experience of actually having the images that you're going to put on your board. So what you're doing, like I tell people, you can find images online and print them out.
No, I can do a magazine or however. I've done them both ways.
Yeah. The whole part, like I explained yesterday, one of the benefits of doing it is on a board. I'm looking for my eraser to erase this board. Is that you make new neural connections in your brain as we're doing it.
Okay.
The more of the senses that you can involve in the process, the more connections that your neural networks are making. I was talking earlier today to a client who is a psychologist, and her specialty is in play therapy. And I was sharing with her some of my health concerns going into next year, knowing that my brain isn't functioning, quote unquote, normally, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling her part of what's happening is my body is destroying the coverings that are on the brain cells. Let's call them that. So they call them myelin sheets, and so my body's destroying that.
How do you stop it?
It's funny. I did a meditation it's not funny. I did a meditation this morning asking exactly like just that. Like I asked, how do I bring more healing to my brain? And I went into this deep trance, and all of a sudden I was in another place, and I was surrounded by all these birds. And
oh wow.
And in the vision that I had, I was completely covered with all these birds, and they were orange. They didn't look like quote unquote normal birds. But my whole body was covered by these. And as I was sitting in meditation, I was asking, is this part of my healing process? I heard yes. And then I heard, is there a way to make this go faster? And then I heard it's going to take time, right? And then I saw myself stand up, and then all these birds fly away. And I came out of it, and I was like, oh my gosh, like we really do have, and I believe it, and I've seen it with other clients, the capacity to heal ourselves, right?
Yeah, we do.
This morning after that, I went to work, and this client tells me, because I asked her, I said, have you ever dealt with people that are having neurological issues? And she pointed to me and said, look, in a recent workshop I went to, there was a specialist that deals with children who have certain learning disabilities, certain cognitive functions. And he always said the whole time we were in the workshop that what they do in his school is that they teach people to play. Like they just work with kids.
Yeah.
And that through play, right, the act of actually doing things with our hands and moving, that the body's creating more neural networks, right?
Okay, that makes total sense.
Okay, sounds like I need to go. After all that, what I concluded for myself was that I need to spend more time doing things with my hands and actually playing and finding the joy in tactile type things.
Yeah.
They do a lot of things with Play-Doh.
Okay.
I was like, I think I might go buy some Play-Doh or putty or something. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about you, and so that this is helpful for everyone. So people have told you before that you should have a business, and you've thought about before having a business. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah.
Okay. And have you given any thought to what type of business you want to have?
Well, I've been in the legal field for a lifetime.
Okay.
And it probably wasn't the best field for me to be in, but I helped a lot of people. And I was in the government side and in the law enforcement side on top of it. But I did help a lot of people in it, but it was not the career for me. Okay. And then my daughter got real sick with her autoimmune, and it left her blind for a while, and still doesn't have. There's no fix. You know what I'm saying? They let it go to the 5th stage. Anyway, so I retired then so I could take care of her, and that took 4 years. And she got better, and now she's back in the other thing again. So we'll see what happens. So here's my quandary and stuff is that I can make a ton of money if I go back into legal because I'm freaking good at it, you know. And I'm an ABA paralegal. I'm just not just a paralegal. I sit on federal task force and stuff like that, you know. So I could go back and I could make a lot of money doing that. And right now, I don't know if you remember what I told you about my current situation, but my other.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good. Okay, so my other option is that everybody keeps telling me that, you know, you asked me about 5 people, asking 5 people. I found cards and stuff, and they all say basically the same thing, you know. Thank you for everything, your family, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. And I don't know, and then my other theory is that maybe I should just move now. It's time. And maybe move to Arizona where it's more affordable than California, and meet new people and maybe do it out there. I don't know.
Okay. So do you want to go back into
legal?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
That's the last thing I want to do.
Okay, so then let's brainstorm a little bit. One is, what would you say are some of your natural talents, natural gifts?
I have the ability to make people smile when they're at their lowest. I have the ability to, without telling them, you know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. And in that test that we were talking about, like that I didn't think was fair, how it comes out moderator, even though that's true. People come to me. I don't go to people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they just come to me. They move in next door to me. If I go to a public place and I sit down and I'm by myself, I'll have somebody there within a couple of minutes, my whole life, telling me their whole life story, you know. And I didn't understand it for a long time. And now I do. I understand it more, and I'm learning more. So
people open up to you. Yeah, even if you don't seek them or start the conversation, they just kind of feel drawn to open up.
Yep. And then this is recently because I've made so many changes that had to be made. And I've like vibed up and stuff when like being where I'm at right now and stuff. This was supposed to be a new start for everybody, you know. And then I'm the only one left here. And but I've made that, you know, it took me about 2 months to get past it. And I'm not all the way past it, obviously, because it's been a long time. But I notice now that when like my neighborhood is vibed up, everybody's cleaning their yards and everything again, thank God. And when I go places, you know, people will just automatically just smile and start talking to me.
Okay.
And that doesn't,
let me just
yeah.
welcome Dion here and just check in with him before we move forward. Give me a second. Hi, Dion.
Hi, I'm glad I made it on.
Yay! Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
It's like neon Dion. So I think you got it.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So we just got started literally. So today's class is more focused on and something that you want to accomplish for next year, especially around business. So let me ask you before I continue the conversation with Trisha. Do you have a business? Have thought about starting a business or currently have one?
I'm not self-employed, but it's almost like having my own business. I work for an NGO.
Okay.
And so it's a lot of fundraising and a lot of prepping for the year to come.
Oh, nice. Nice. How long have you been doing that?
For just about 4 years.
Okay. And is this something that you want to continue to do?
Part of me absolutely wants to. The other part of me doesn't know if it's realistic. I was just diagnosed with stage 3C colon cancer. And I'm not sure if I can. They're being very generous in the sense that I travel for a big portion of my job. They're going to let me take the year off and stay home and work. So it is my dream job, but it's also a tremendous amount of responsibility and stress.
Yeah. So your body automatically says no, and your heart and logic says yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Got it. Okay, so I'm gonna mute you. I'm gonna go back to Trisha, and what I would love for you to do, because we're gonna go back and forth, and then depending on what other people jump on, we'll also bring them into the conversation. But the question I just asked Trisha was, and you wanna get a notebook, pen, paper, that type of thing, is what are your natural gifts and talents? And so we're listening to her right now share that, and I invite you to go get something to write with and write yours out, because I'm gonna come back to you, okay?
Okay.
All right, great. All right, Trisha. So let's continue on this list. What would you say, another way I like to ask this question, Trisha, is what would you say is like your superpower?
I'm an amazing researcher, and I can write a letter I can write like nobody's business.
Ah, okay. Do you enjoy the writing process?
I love writing.
Okay.
I mean, I can write them. I can write. It's amazing how well I write.
I love it. Anything else?
Okay, as far as what my pluses are?
Yeah, natural gifts, natural talents, superpowers.
Well, my natural gifts is that I'm unconditionally compassionate. I know that that was something I was supposed to conquer in this lifetime, and I have. So I know that.
Love it. Okay, and what are some of the things that you, time-wise, let's imagine in a week's time, what are some of the things you find yourself doing a lot that you enjoy?
Right now, I'm doing so much, it's unbelievable and stuff, but I haven't been able to do, I'll be honest with you, because of the situation that I was born into, like I can remember being in utero and my dad beating my mom. And if you want me to tell you that there's been a lot of joy, there hasn't.
Okay. Well, remember I said language is very crucial to us, right? Language plays a big role. So let me rephrase the question for you then. What is something that you find yourself doing a lot in your day-to-day life, right? And I'll give you an example for me. And it sometimes we find joy in it, right? Like, so for me,
for me, for me, it's like for me right now, and it has been for solidly. I've submerged myself into this. Is my meditation, my prayer, and my spiritual work. Like I literally, I put all of it into it right now.
Okay.
So that's a huge passion for me. That's my goal.
So meditation, prayer, and what else did you say?
I do. I have 3 different notebooks. I have one that's full of just prayers for different people.
Mm-hmm.
So I pray first, then I meditate, ask for answers, and then I'll go through my manifestations, not my manifestations, what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And, but but all I have for business is starting a business at home. And literally I am doing some legal work from home, but I'm just not enjoying it.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. So definitely we know that it's not going to be something inside the traditional legal space, right?
No.
We know that.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So what would you like to be doing? So if you were to think about like, man.
Oh, I can tell you exactly what I would love to be doing.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. I would love to be able to buy like a huge apartment building that had 3 bedrooms in it. And so that mothers and children of domestic violence would have a safe place to go and relearn how to live.
Okay.
That's my biggest goal. And I'm working on it.
Okay. So you want to, so your heart, your passion is saying, hey, I want to help domestic violence families, like women who've gone through domestic violence.
Right.
Okay. And is it just women or is it the women and kids?
The women and the kids. The kids need the most help.
Okay. And do you want your business to be a for-profit or a nonprofit?
It would be a nonprofit.
And why are you saying nonprofit?
I wish I could give you it's just what came to my mind.
Okay, that's fine.
I know the difference, so.
Okay. So hopefully you're writing some of these things down. I'm doing it on the dry erase board because that's
of course
how my mind,
yeah.
that's how my mind works. But let's go to the place of what do you think has been in the way of you up to this point not fulfilling on having a physical space to help women and children of domestic abuse?
No, I have on a personal level. I've taken them in several times.
Yeah, but with this plan of you actually having a location to
mm-hmm.
house them,
mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
What do you think has been the deterrent, or why hasn't it gotten done yet?
Life, my daughter getting sick, me taking care of her, life. And now it's about me. So now I can.
Okay. Okay. So part of the work we've been covering has been to get all of us to a place to distinguish that we have these stories, right? Remember that whole lesson I did on something that happens in the past, we develop a story around it, and then there's what we make it mean. You remember that whole exercise we did?
Yeah, like somebody can say something to you and you'll take it one way when they mean it another, and it'll just change everything. Like that?
Sort of like that. That is different viewpoints, right? Like if I were to say, I'm going to use my lotion bottle as an example. What you're talking about is a great distinction. So I'm going to hold this to the camera, and what do you see?
A lotion bottle.
Okay. What else? Like if someone couldn't see this, what else would you say about it?
What else would I say about it?
Yeah.
I see you behind it.
Okay. What else about the lotion bottle from your view, the view that you're seeing?
I'm just seeing a view of a lotion bottle.
Okay. So for me, I'm like, okay, I see some type of white liquid inside, or lotion, like you were saying, right?
Oh, you were saying like go deeper. Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
I see what you're saying. Okay. So I see
see.
blueprint, white lotion, all that.
Yeah. I can see that this is called Cetaphil.
I can't see that though.
Right. Okay. So here's the point of this exercise, which points to what you were saying. Sometimes people will say something or see something, and their view, right? Like in your case, or people watching the replay also, their view is going to be this. But my view is this.
Right.
Mugs are a great way of doing this interpretation, because a mug, right, usually has a handle. And when we do this exercise, one person will see the handle, the other one won't. Right?
Yeah.
So that's a different distinction than what I'm talking about. So what I'm talking about is we create stories about experiences that we've had in our past. Point. Right. I said to you, what do you think has been stopping you, or why is it that you haven't accomplished having a building where you can have housing of moms and kids who are, survivors of domestic abuse? And you said, life happened, my daughter, kids, but now I get to focus on me.
Right.
I'm going to say, and I'll say this to you, I'm just being to the point, right?
Okay.
The reason I said we have stories is because there's emotions stuck to that. There's different viewpoints stuck to that. But at the end of the day, if we were to be like a fly on the wall looking at the event, all there is, something happened, right? An action that's occurring. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So a lot of times what it takes to be an entrepreneur, and I tell people this all the time, being a business owner, running a nonprofit, or even like Dion was saying, being that person that's out there raising funds, getting money, it's not for the faint of heart. Life is going to happen. Shit's going to hit the fan. The more you as a human being, or me, can handle, right? The bigger I can handle things, circumstances, emotions, the bigger I can become as a container without it getting to me, the more effective I can be. Exactly. So I'm gonna make the argument to you that no, it has nothing to do with your daughter getting sick or your situation that happened. I guarantee you, Trisha, it was a do or die situation, and you had to figure out.
I would get it done.
Yes.
And that's what I did with my daughter. So it's
the things that we put priority or importance to.
Yeah.
So up to this, and I'll accept, hey, up to this point, it just wasn't my main focus. Up to this point, it wasn't a priority. Up to this point, it wasn't that important.
No.
Does that make sense?
That's a good defense, I think.
She's like, you would make a good attorney. Okay. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because there are people in here that are saying they want to build a business, or they have a business, they want to expand it, they're curious about a business, and things are going to get in the way. Life is going to happen. And with that being said, I want to dig a little bit deeper, Trisha, and find out, okay, do you remember, what is the energy you said you wanted to expand on?
Well, we had started with soul expansion and stuff, and then we realized during one of our conversations that one of my core issues, and I can't believe this, well, yeah, I can, is trust, which turned into abandonment and stuff. So I'm dealing with those right now. Okay. Because when you said they never go away, I thought they were gone.
And then you were like, wait. I think
she just said they weren't gone.
So yeah. Okay, so if we know from that past core story that abandonment and trust is one of the things that were a trigger, right? That voice is going to keep coming up. So things like, right? Things like, and these are just hypotheticals. It might be that you get to a point where it looks like a great deal and you've got donors giving you money for a building, and then someone last minute decides they're not going to do it.
Right.
That's going to be a clear trigger for, oh, see, I can't trust. Oh, see, they left again. Okay, so here's I'm working on bringing all these concepts we've been working on for the last couple of days together, right? So how do we combat that as we're literally creating newly? And it's just that. It's practice. It's practice going, I'm going to go.
For me, I know that you know, like I get up in the morning, the first thing I am is like, what can I do for you today, you know? But I know life is going to happen. So much of life has happened that, you know, I try to, I don't know, I just try to make the best out of it at this point.
Okay. So I'm going to mute you in a minute, and here's what you're going to do while I speak to Dion and check in with Linda, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to take the Merlin principle, right? And you're going to go a year out. So it's December 31st, 2020. You have your building. I want to know specifics, right? And I want you to start working on using the Merlin principle. I want you to work backwards. So start with the end in mind. I love what your heart and your passion is calling you for.
Thank you.
And you have a beautiful, what we call it a core story also. You have a beautiful story. And a lot of times we're helping people who are experiencing some of the things we've already accomplished, right? Things we've overcome.
Right.
I don't necessarily talk about the domestic abuse that I grew up in, and I don't necessarily talk about me as an adult experiencing emotional and financial abuse in a domestic situation, because a lot of times my work doesn't call for that. However, I've noticed recently, the minute I said I'm going to be a teacher and I want to teach other spiritually based business owners, out of the woodworks came stories like we heard day one. I was abused. I was molested. I was raped. You know, my dad used to beat my mom. My mom was an alcoholic. And I like to believe, right, that God puts us in certain situations to prepare us to be these beautiful warriors to help other people.
Listen, I was just going to ask you that because I was never like anybody in my family. And I was just going to ask you that. I've always known that and stuff, that no matter what I was helping, you know, no matter what I was doing, even when I was in my whatever. But that's beautiful that you confirmed that for me. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
And
so
on the Merlin?
I'm going to mute you. Go ahead and work on your plan for 2020.
Okay, but I'm basing this on the domestic violence, huh? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I didn't hear anything else in my questions that I was asking you, like you should be going in a different direction. Everything in you lit up. Your energy, your voice, right? I can hear the passion in it. So now it's putting down in numbers, right? How many rooms? How many people are you helping? How much money have you raised? And then go backwards. How many people are there working? Who are the people that are there working? Okay. Great work, Trisha.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Linda. Welcome back.
Hi.
So Linda, I'm going to ask you the question. Do you have a business you currently run?
I just started what I'm trying to get off the ground, so it hasn't been in the works for very long at all, like a month or two.
Okay, so tell me a little bit. I'm going to write on the board. I just finished doing a mini brainstorming session with Trisha. So So I want to make sure I do that with each one of you. Tell me a little bit about your business.
It has to do with the crystals,
Oh, that's great. Okay.
the crystal healing, and my cousin, she's like hosts the women's wellness event to teach self-love, self-care practices, and we have the Reiki master that helps with the Reiki.
Yes.
And I sell the jewelry and the stones and all of that.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to mute you. I'm going to come back to you after I talk to Dion. Just keep
Okay.
listen in. You need paper, pencil, you need, something to write with and paper. All right,
Okay.
I'm going to mute you. Okay, Dion, are you there?
Okay, I am.
Okay, perfect. So you and Linda are in a similar place, but I wanted to take a moment because you're in this space of what I call transition, and I find myself in there right now. I don't know if you caught the part where I was sharing that I just got started having really bad migraines, and I started having speech issues and dropping things, and it got to the point where I was like, I think I need to go see a doctor, right?
Okay.
So they just right after Christmas, I went back in to hear my doctor tell me that, yes, there's stuff going on in your brain. You don't have any masses. However, you now need to go see a neurologist and an endocrinologist because things are misfiring in your brain. And here are some of the possible things that this could lead to. And it's things like Alzheimer's, MS, like none of it looks like a positive outcome, right?
Okay.
What I do for a living, and I've done for the last 20 years, is I have a holistic health practice. And I primarily focus on helping people who have pain or are dealing with severe amounts of stress, and I teach them how to bring balance back into their body and in their life. The last 2 years, though, I've gone on to teach online because something in me said, you're going to transition to teaching online. Okay.
Wow.
So here I am at the crossroads going, okay, God, what's next? And what's next for me is I have to exit out of physically doing the manual labor that I've been doing, even though I enjoy it, because my body's just going, no, that's too much, right?
Yeah.
So I went from seeing, I used to, in my practice when I first started, I would see about 10 to 12 patients a day. And now in my current situation, I'm able to see maybe 2 or 3, depending on what the treatment is, people 4 days a week.
Wow.
So I'm sharing this for a couple of reasons. I had to figure out, given my health, given the lifestyle I want, what needs to change. And we sometimes think that things have to stay the same, that this is the only way it can be. But look at the beauty that you yourself have created. You said, I'm in the job of my dreams. Like, this is the job, the thing that I love. And even with the diagnosis that you've gotten, they're working with you. You even said, they're working with me. I'm going to be able to work from home.
Yeah.
So I share all this to say, we at any moment can decide to pivot, to alter how we're running our business. Even though you said, hey, I'm self-employed, sort of, it's still, at the end of the day, I'm going to call you an entrepreneur. You're being an entrepreneur. You have to do a lot on your own, right? It sounds like it. But something about it isn't quite working. And so this is the part where I want to go to. I had asked earlier, were you able to write down your gifts, talents, superpowers?
Yes.
Okay. Run through those for me.
Okay. So speaking is something that comes natural to me. Great communication skills, developing events and maintaining my calm in all situations, creating world-class events, managing really difficult donors, raising great amounts of money in one night, and I'm one that can talk to almost anybody. And then my superpower is probably the communication. My gift is singing or entertaining, I guess.
Entertaining. Okay. I love this. You just like went to town doing this while we were talking.
Yes.
This is awesome. I always say that, you know, whoever's supposed to be on the live calls is going to show up. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm like, I'm cool if it's one person. When we started, Trisha was like, are you sure you want to wait? I was like, we'll wait a little bit while I go get my water and get situated. But whoever's
Well, it's so funny because I thought I was going to listen to the replay. I didn't realize I was going to actually be able to get on and see it live today.
Oh, love it, love it, love it. Okay, so let's imagine for a minute. I love that you know what your superpowers are, like your gifts, and I'm going to put in here singing, by the way. Okay. What ideally, if you were to think about 2020, what ideally would you be doing inside of your business?
Granted, I was 100% whole health. I would probably be traveling, touring, speaking, and training to be an auctioneer for my events.
Okay.
Including writing like theme songs. My daughter helps me a lot with those.
How old's your daughter?
She's 16. She's sitting right next to me. She usually writes them, or I write them and she changes them entirely.
Nice, nice. I have little, I call them mini-preneurs in my life. And I have my 11-year-old who loves making TikTok videos. She was using the app when it was called Musical.ly.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And I hired her as my TikTok coach because I have clients calling me and saying, will you help me with my TikTok? And I'm like, really?
That's awesome.
Okay. So I had to pay her to show me how to set up my TikTok and how to make a TikTok. And to her, she was like, no, duh, mom, like, this is so easy. Like, what's the problem? How are you adults not getting this?
Right.
Yeah. So yes, our kids will definitely learn from our entrepreneurial adventures. Okay. So you said something interesting. You said if you were, what was the wording you used? If you were in full health, is that what you said?
Whole health, whole body health, holistic
Whole
health.
health. Okay.
Whole health. If I was not going through the dilemma with cancer currently. But because I am, that changes my scope completely. Especially after this last treatment.
Okay. Will you tell me a little bit about what happened this last treatment?
I went in for my second round of chemo and I had an extreme, they're calling it an extreme chemosensitivity that put me in the hospital for 3 days. I forget what they call it, but I basically became paralyzed, couldn't walk, lost the ability to speak, couldn't breathe, had a massive headache, massive lower backache, and then started vomiting everywhere. And so things, instead of getting better, just continued to tank. And then they kept me for 3 days and released me. And it was basically chemo poisoning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is me putting my holistic health hat on. Are you doing any complementary therapies or are you just going straight Western?
No, I would rather do it all Eastern and completely outside of it, but I'm in stage 3C, so I'm a step away from not being able to cure it. So I'm doing some supplements. There's one called Allegic Insurance, and then Thor's Hammer. Outside of that, and then I've got a holistic health person that I just kind of check in with.
Okay.
I've also got a little bit of a healer that I'm working with in terms of expediting a transition in my own healing.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you are relying on complementary medicine.
Yes.
That's what I wanted to get to.
Okay.
So is it that you're worried you'll have another reaction like you did this last time that has you say, you know what, I can't really do the traveling. I can't really do.
Yeah. And every time you do chemo, your white blood cell count drops and then your infection ratio skyrockets. And so although they say to live a normal life, you can't. You have to wear a mask. You have to wash your hands all the time. I can't present on stage, so it's a strong blockade.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay. So let's imagine for a moment that you're happy with an alternative outside of the traveling, speaking, writing. What would you be doing?
The options that I have is to create a volunteer program, which I'm doing that, coherently. Managing like the back end of rewriting volunteer guidelines, chapter guidelines, and just literally running events from the phone and not going and being there in person.
Okay. And how's that working for you?
Even with just being at home and not traveling, I can barely get to it. So it's been a challenge. It's been a really big challenge. And I'm not one to give myself grace. I just go.
Yeah.
And so it's rough on me because even my healer is like, you just don't get this. If you don't stop, you're going to drop dead and you're not going to be able to do life. So you have to slow down and you have to make different choices. But I don't really know in my own capacity of just knowing how to survive and make things happen, how to do that.
So let me ask you, if this job was completely gone, would
Yep.
you still be able to, and I'm going to use the word survive, right? Would you still be able to survive? Like, would you still be able to keep a roof over your head?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah. Nope.
So, and the minute you say that, by the way, all this energy in your gut and everything just like, so is that your biggest fear?
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I'm like feeling it in my stomach right now. I'm like, oh my God, this does not feel pleasant at all.
I'm the sole provider for my mom, who's 78. And then I've got 4 kiddos, 2 that are left at home.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm only cutting you off because I'm looking at the time. I literally,
okay.
I have dinner. I'm like, I have dinner plans. Okay. So here's my homework for you. Okay. Give me an income amount that you have to replace.
4,000
a month.
Yep.
When people tell me stuff like that, and I'm sorry, I'm like surprised because there was a video I did in the Lightworkers live feed where I broke down like there's urgency, like if you don't make this money, you're gonna like end up on the street.
Yeah.
And there's like the average income. Girl, $4,000 a month is definitely something that you can do with all of the skill sets that you just told me and everything I'm picking up from you.
Yeah.
I know you said, hey, I have certain options. What I would recommend is you start to think about consulting, right?
Okay.
And consulting from the standpoint of what are some of the projects you've ran in the past that you really loved, okay?
Okay.
All right. And then we're going to work on creating your packaging. So with you, what I want you to focus on is your exit plan.
Okay.
And I'm doing the same right now, by the way. I just hired 2 interns. I just had my staff start making the transition, and I'm letting my clients know, hey, here's what's going on with my health. Hey, here's what I'm doing next. Right?
Okay.
I still imagine myself being able to see maybe 10 clients a month, right? But that puts me in the place of I'm seeing 2 to 3 people a week, right?
Yep.
And part of my exit plan includes how am I going to replace $8,000 a month of income?
Okay.
Okay. My average, if I don't hit $8,000, I'm in freaking trouble, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't make
Actually,
payroll.
let me rephrase that. It's 6,000. It's not 4,000.
6,000?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
6,000. Okay.
Girl, as long as you're in the $10,000 range, I got you.
Okay. Okay.
That one I know how to do quickly and easily.
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna take your 6,000 and I want you to add 20% to this.
Okay.
I don't know, I'm not that great at math, but I want you to add 20% to this.
Okay.
And so 6,000 is what you need to make, right? Like do or die,
Yep.
6,000. Okay.
So 7,200, I think, would be 20%.
Okay. So we're gonna round it to 8,000 then.
Okay.
Okay. And part of that is if you're really going to be self-employed, that means you're going to be covering your own taxes, your own insurance, like all this stuff. So you want to make room for that cushion.
Okay.
You want to think that way. All right. The next thing for you, and we'll work some more on this tomorrow, and you're welcome to post what you have so far in the group, and I can write back to you on it. Okay.
Okay.
The next homework part for you is really going to be what are the projects I really enjoyed doing and what are the parts of the projects that I enjoyed and what are the parts you don't want to deal with.
Okay.
Right? Like me, I suck at keeping books. I have somebody that does that, right?
Yep.
I suck at billing. So I literally have to have someone on my team that when people don't pay on time or they've fallen behind or whatever, because I do a lot of consulting, they're the ones that call, not me.
Okay.
Okay? They're the ones that invoice, not me. I do the part that I enjoy, which is this. I tell my team all the time, the more I can do the talking, coaching, teaching, this is me happy. I have a migraine right now, like my head's doing its head thing, and I can literally say my pain is at about an 8. And people are like, you're so composed. Like, you look like everything's fine. But
what was your
is,
pain yesterday? Just curious.
Oh my gosh. Yesterday I was at a 10. I stayed in bed.
I could feel your pain yesterday.
I stayed in bed till like 20 minutes before the live stream.
Aww.
But with that being said, we're good at having our mind control what's going on with the body, right? And then there's times where we have to listen to what our body's telling us because there's only so much back and forth that can occur before our body's like, fuck you, you're going to be in bed.
Yeah.
Okay. So figure out what are the things that you enjoy doing, right? Like, what is it that I love, shine, will get out of bed even when I'm in pain at a level 10 to do.
Okay.
Okay. And then you're going to use this $6,000 as your marker.
Okay.
And then I want you to go online and do some research. If there are other event consultants.
Okay.
Which I'm sure there are.
Yeah. Yep.
And start to look at their pages and look at their pages from the point of what do I like that they're saying? Do I like the colors on the site? Do I like their language? Start to look for the stuff that you like from what you see on their pages. Okay. The other thing is you're gathering data for prices. If they have prices, go ahead and write them down. If they don't, since you're a people person, call them. Call them and say, hey, look, I'm just doing some research. I'm in a situation, and you can tell them your story. Believe me, people will empathize with your story and want to help you.
Okay.
All right. I tell my clients up front about my health. I have autoimmune issues.
Yeah.
So before they hire me, I let them know I'm a single mom. I have autoimmune issues. You can count on me letting you know if anything needs to change. However, I promise you that when I show up, I'm 100% yours. And so they know if something happened to one of my kids and I have to leave because I, got to go pick them up, my clients aren't going, oh, she left or she canceled on me last minute, because all the communication is already up front. Okay. So hands down, this worry of like, if I lose this job, how am I going to take care of me? God's giving you an opportunity right now, woman, to create your plan. Like create your plan for 2020. Good.
So good.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Make sure you post what you come up with in the group, okay? So I can follow that thread.
Okay, awesome.
Oh, Linda jumped off. Oh, well. Okay. I think Linda got scared, Trisha. That's okay. I have a couple of minutes. I want to check in with you and find out where are you with the planning for 2020?
Okay, my 2020 for the domestic violence things for a year. Okay, so I started in December. I will have an apartment building with 6 units. There will be 2 moms and their kids in the units. There'll be a common area, and then you know, for the moms and the kids and everything. And then they'll have their own private area and everything. So that would be the way that worked.
Okay.
And then in November, I was gonna put together the programs for the children so that they can learn about yoga, Tai Chi, meditation, and things to help them maneuver through life easier, and understand that what they saw wasn't their fault, and what happened to them wasn't their fault.
So let me stop you for a minute. Let me go back to December. In December, you have 6 units, 2 moms, common area. What is the amount of money that you have raised for this project in December of 2020?
I would have risen, well, to buy the apartment building that I would want to buy and stuff, it would have to be about 70,000.
Okay, so you've raised 70,000 for the building.
Yeah.
And then how much have you raised for staff and I'm going to use the word maintenance?
Okay, and see, and that's where I wanted to talk to you.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I have it down to the November, October, and September and everything. But my plan is that I'm going to be moving in August.
Okay.
And so that's where I would be able to do the best work, you know,
Okay.
and do it at a cheaper level. So
Okay.
I started.
No problem. So remember, this is really us creating from nothing.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you're, like right now when I was talking to Dion, regardless of your health, regardless of where you are in life, regardless of what's going on, all I want to know is where do you see 2020 with your business, right? The how literally will revolve around what you write on paper. I kid you not. Right? So if you say 70,000,
I totally believe that.
If you say 70,000 for the building, you know, how many people do you have employed for this program?
Well, I would have, first of all, if I could find them or her, I would love to find a actual doctor that had a holistic background.
Okay, so I'm going to stop you for a minute because this is just, you're going to work on this some more.
Mm-hmm.
The I would like, that's not part of the principle.
No, I'm going to have
a holistic health doctor.
Yeah, I'm going to have that.
Okay.
And
is it a man or is it a woman? I have a female holistic health doctor. I have a male holistic health doctor. This person has experience working with.
I have a female doctor with a holistic background that's familiar working with domestic violence victims and PTSD.
Perfect. That's what you're going to put down on paper.
Okay.
Okay. So suspend all the, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing that. You already know what you have from here going forward. But the beauty of this principle literally is we have no idea how this is going to happen. We're literally out of nothingness declaring that you're going to have 2 moms, 2 families, basically, you're going to be helping, that you have a 6-unit space, that you have all the money for the building paid off, right? Or I don't know if this is the deposit or you know, I don't know. You got to write it out as detailed as possible with measurable outcomes, right? Because
So do you think, can I interrupt real fast? How I started it was I went, after I realized that, you know, I am going to be making this move. I know it's inevitable. I went back to January and I put business plan. Like, are you talking like that?
yeah, so, but don't jump to January. Literally go backwards. Put everything in detail for December.
Yeah.
So for December, you're telling me how many people are working. You're telling me, you know, what kind of, what do you call it? Like you mentioned Tai Chi, you mentioned this, you mentioned that. Well, is that a person that's coming in and teaching those things? So you want to put that person in there. Okay. How many is in this space? Are you having other people come in, or is it just these two families? Right?
No, it would, yeah, okay.
So it could be that your location houses two families, but it could also be that you're introducing other families to this type of work, right?
Right.
Let your mind literally create this the way you envision it.
That's what I'm going to do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Be as detailed as possible with the numbers.
Okay.
Because those are the ones that you can reverse. So if we know by December 2020 you have 70,000, by November you will have been at what? 75,000, 60,000, like literally just write it down.
Okay.
And then just keep going backwards, but you have to start with the end of December. All right, so same assignment for you, Trisha. Once you've gotten your, okay, this is what my business is in 2020, give us a description. Okay. And then I don't need to know your whole Merlin principle plan, but I would like to know the end result of it, right? Like, so by December 2020, I have this. That I do want to see in detail.
Okay.
All right. All right. Great. Any other questions?
No. No, thank you.
Perfect. Linda, I lost you for a minute. I thought that you weren't coming back. So Linda, were you able to hear some of the stuff that I was telling Trisha about her plan for 2020?
Yeah, the tail end. I'm traveling on the freeway, so I got bumped off and then I got put back on again.
Okay, no problem. So here's your assignment, because I have to get going. I want you to watch the replay and listen to the section that I just, these last 5 minutes, and I'll give you the summary version. You're going to take the Merlin principle, which states that we start with the end in mind. So you're going to imagine that it's December 31st, 2020, and in detail, I want you to write out how your business is doing, right? How much money is it making? How many pieces are you selling? How many events? How many people are working with you or for you? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Once you have all that out, yeah, once you have all that, post it in the group, and you're literally gonna, this is your plan for 2020. And I will work with you guys to make sure that your milestones, because that's the part we didn't really get to cover today. Tomorrow we'll do more of this. So today, just focus on writing what your business will look like for 2020 by December 31st. Be as detailed as possible with your numbers.
Okay.
Okay?
Perfect.
And then the call tomorrow, most likely I'm going to do it in the morning, because we're trying to alternate times. So hopefully you can be on that call in the morning. If anything, if you have further questions after you watch, if you're not on the call tomorrow, when you watch the replay, if you have questions, I am adding an extra day for people to do Q&As. So that last day is going to be a little longer, so that everybody has an opportunity to have whatever questions they have answered. Okay? You got your assignment?
Do we know what time in the morning, hon?
Yeah. Give me a second. I always got to check my calendar. I'm going to do 10 o'clock because I have to be at my office. Yeah, so let's do 10 o'clock.
Okay.
All right, so I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10. You guys have a lot of writing to do. Look forward to seeing your post in the group. Have a great rest of the evening. Usually I ask you what your takeaways are. Post them in the group, please. All right. Lots of kisses, guys. Peace.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.